That was weird. The intro on my screen didn't play out fully, but we're here. We're here. The DMV show on a Tuesday, not a Monday, but we're here. And as always, I'm Geo, your host. With me, my co-host, Mr. Noah Walker. I guess he's well. Um, and with us, a very special guest, one of our very own, who absolutely kills it on the mic, kills it on the camera, Mr. Josh Campbell. How's it going, buddy?
You're far too kind, Gio. I'm good. How are you guys?
No, Noah's just good, man.
I'm just using hand signals today. No, I'm excited. You
Nonverbal.
know I'm excited.
Noah's going through just hand signals today, which is all good. I mean, there's plenty to talk about, so he's gonna have to get creative with those hand signals. But before we dive into anything, you, the viewer, listener, as you're coming in, do make sure you hit that subscribe button, like, comment, and definitely engage. So much footy, even though it's the tail end of the season, it's so much happening, and it's being brought to you here by DMV Sports Media. So, gentlemen, let's dive right into it. NPSL. It's been fun. It's been really fun. We're going to talk about two teams specifically, Ristozi and Dreams, but I want to focus on Ristozi for right now. Can I just get general reactions on those runs? And let's start with Josh.
I mean, I think everyone who saw the the game they already played in the regular season would have expected, a tight physical match just as they had. But I think still definitely surprising that Ristozi came out on top and that it took what it took, that goal from Ono to win the game. But yeah, still definitely a little surprising. I know they were putting most of their eggs in that basket, but yeah, surprising.
How about you, know?
Yeah, I mean, I have to say, surprising too. In hindsight, you can look back. There are plenty of signs in which you could say it's not as surprising as one might think. Yes, they're a virgin NPSL team. That was their first season, which, from that context, super surprising. Unseating the champions, after Dream had come off that season, knocking off the Annapolis Blues in front of the 9,000 fans. They've won so much hardware, Virginia Dream. So from that context, that lens, yeah, it's an upset. But Ristozi have been in big games before, right? That was a close 1-0 defeat that they had against the Dream during the regular season with chance after chance. There was a wide open net that Toga Katsuma kind of whiffed on, and they could have easily at least shared points, if not won that one. Also, Ristozi have beat Christos, which is, soccer royalty up in Baltimore, in back-to-back MDV Cups in the finals match. They knocked off Steel Pulse from the Roland Cup last season. They beat Christos back in their final game in the Super League. So it's not like Ristozi haven't had big games and had big opponents. But to me, this was a next step. This was another kind of platform, to go down to Meridian Stadium to beat Dream in their home turf in the league that Virginia Dream have gotten comfortable in. I mean, that was surprising, but I had to say that in certain contexts, it wasn't maybe as surprising as some people who don't know Ristozi might have thought.
So Josh, I'm not sure how familiar you are with Ristozi, so this one might be more of a Noah reaction, but has Ristozi had a better season this year or last year?
No, yeah, that'll definitely be more of a Noah question. Yeah, definitely more Virginia laden, you know.
The reason.
But just seeing them in the last couple of matches I've seen in the NPSL, I mean, I couldn't imagine their last season was better than this season with like that core that they have of Katsuma, Ono, and then their captain at the back. That core was incredibly strong, and I assume that solidarity coming in from last season, but they seem to have built on it. If they, again, I don't know too much, but they looked incredibly strong in the dispatch Dream the way they did.
Well, the reason I ask is because like Noah just brought up how they beat Christos at NDV Cup. They beat Steel Pulse in the Roland Cup. They beat Dream in NPSL reach their conference final. But last year in the MDV Cup, they went through Steel Pulse, Los Toros, right? And then it was
It was Nova.
Christos. Oh no, sorry, Nova. Yeah, Nova. It was Nova, Steel Pulse, and Christos. That's
That's
I
tight.
mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's crazy. That's two back-to-back seasons where big games where they absolutely are playing some really good teams, and they're doing that.
I, I have to answer, and I think Josh is spot on. As good as last season was, right? If we're going to count the MDV Cup they also won the MDV Cup this past season, right? If we're talking about last year's MDV Cup, the cup prior, where they beat Nova, where they beat Steel Pulse, where they beat Christos. Well, they beat Christos again this season. They beat Aegean Hawks. They destroyed
Oh
Aegean
yeah.
Hawks during the MDV Cup. Hawks obviously, I think, maybe miscalculated the task at hand, but even still, to beat them by that scoreline, which was I think 7-2 maybe, was just a big statement. And then obviously defeating Christos. But even without that accolade, without those accomplishments, if you count the MDV Cup as a separate season, just winning the NPSL Mid Atlantic to beat Dream, that game alone to me is their biggest accomplishment, and it's to take nothing away from all the other ones. It's a big stage, yeah, and I think I hope that there's a friendly rivalry. I hope that those teams have respect for one another. I'd love to see that built into a cross Potomac rivalry, because those are both products of the Super Soccer League. Not to say we built them or anything. Those sides have done plenty on their own right, and maybe we're doing things right even before they came in. But Virginia Dream now in their 5th season in the Super Soccer League, they're I'd like to think we provide value and give good competition to them. Ristozi, they started out a Division II team, had to play 2 Division II seasons. They got promoted to Division I. They were in the playoffs in both of their Division I seasons before switching to the summer and winter setup because of their college nature of their players. But I have just incredible respect for both those sides. Obviously, 2 of the major components of the DMV sports media family, and it was tough for me because it was like whoever won, lost, it was going to be. I see the sweat, the anguish of competition, but a lot of respect to both those sides, and this was Ristozi's day.
Yeah, I mean, it was a phenomenal game. I mean, watching that was a top tier matchup. If you missed it, you absolutely missed it. I mean, obviously you can go back and watch it, but that was a great game, and you need to go back and watch it. I mean, from the beginning to that till about the 80th minute, it was just a chess match. It was 100% a chess match. That last 10-15 minutes was just heart, and it was such a fun game to watch. I mean, in reality, I do want to kind of go off the rivalry track that Noah set forth us, and I'm gonna stretch some stuff here. I'm gonna stretch it because I'm gonna create this vision in my head. So when Dream beat Ristozi, they posted a post that said, "Never second, remember that," or something like that. Ristozi then, when they beat Dream, go and post, "Dreams fade, but trophies don't." I really am feeling this is going to become a real rivalry, and obviously, there's a lot of familiarity between the players. It's all in good nature, and it's all for just storylines. But I'm already thinking about the next time these two meet. It's going to be so fun.
That's classic. And some people don't like the social media thing, right? And as long as you hit it right on the head, as long as you can take it when it's given back to you, and that's giving the people what they want. I love that. I love the confidence, Dream rightly so able to post, throw a little banter, throw a little shade. Ristozi, they're like, yeah, I mean, here we are. We're gonna say something too. And obviously that's gonna be on the quote unquote board in the locker room when both those teams going out. I mean, that's what rivalries are. I mean, it should be a little bit spicy, as long as there's respect behind the competition. Like, yeah, that's awesome.
It makes it juicier. I'm telling you. Josh, anything before we kind of wrap up here with Ristozi and focus on Dream?
Uh, no. I want to find out the name of the captain in the back line. I think it's
Was it Soriano
Soriano.
or
Soriano was incredible. We can mention that real quick. I think he was clearing everything back there. But
it was number 5, I think, is
This should be Soriano. He
no,
usually wears number
there's
5.
4 and 5.
well, as a parent, incredible. They had a great night.
I'll let you know.
Anas?
Nope. I got you.
Hmm.
Give me a second. Continue on with it. Continue on with it.
Go. Yeah. Sorry, Josh.
Go ahead.
ADHD kicked in real quick.
No, it's okay. It was pointed out a little bit in the broadcast. I know Tyler was saying it, but yeah, Soriano was just his head was a magnet to balls. He was just clearing everything that came within a couple yards vicinity of him.
Ethan Bowman-Ansa.
Nansa, that's how you pronounce it. I butchered it.
Sure did.
I'll be honest. Yeah, I mean, both of them have been so good for Ristozi for the whole season. I mean, ever since I want to say the beginning of the season, that was the pairing back there. I don't think I've seen them switch, and I mean, it's worked out completely well for Ristozi. And I mean, now we're looking at Ristozi, who just beat probably one of the best teams in the area. Before that, they beat a very challenging Red Side, and now they're going to go on to host the semifinal. Unfortunately, not at Stevenson University. They have to travel a little bit down 95 to DC at Catholic University, where they'll be hosting Jackson Lions. And I mean, we'll see what happens there.
Yeah. It's unfortunate for you. Fortunate for me, I get to go and take the call over. I'll see all you tomorrow night. I was saying we were just on Saturday night. I was kind of lamenting we're just about done for, we're going to hit a kind of a break in terms of the broadcast. But we ended up with a couple of broadcasts in the Summer Copa, which of course we'll talk about. We got get the Los Toros family on the broadcast. We'll have more of their games, but we also had the promotion match, which of course we'll be talking Super Soccer League promotion match. But now we have another NPSL regional playoff match. So I was a bit premature in saying the season's done for DMV Sports Media. Tune in tomorrow night, 7 p.m. I don't care if you're a Stozy fan, never heard of them before. I promise you that's a match you're going to watch. Jackson Lions, they are soccer royalty up in that New York, New Jersey area. So they're definitely going to be a team you're going to want to tune in for.
And just to put, maybe you know nothing about Jackson Lions. I don't know. You have to know Motown, FC Motown. And they just knocked out FC Motown, who was I think they were a 4th seed or something like that.
Wow.
And they just knocked them out 2-0. I mean, what else could be said right there?
Lots to be excited about. You mentioned, there's more to be said. There's more down the discussion of Virginia Dream in this end of season discussion, and we kind of started talking about Super Soccer. I hope this is a good time for the transition into that conversation. Is the other huge game from this past week, the other huge championship final, which saw another challenger crowned. Do you want to set the table?
Yeah, sure. Oh no, you know what? Let's Josh set the table. I think he'll enjoy this one.
Oh yeah, I mean these are my guys. I don't know if they know they're my guys, but they're my guys. Just hardworking guys. Just dogs giving it all 90 minutes. One of those Coach Dave speeches make you run through a brick wall. I mean, hear those enough, But yeah, to finally, dethrone Virginia Dream, and that they've been trying to battle these last couple seasons. They've been so close, and to finally get it. And even just this match has been postponed a couple times. They started that first couple minutes so well. Had to wait a week or so till this match, and I mean it really proved wrong because they played their butt off.
For those that may or may have not seen or may have seen, we're talking about Los Toros. Los Toros beating Dream 4-2 in the Virginia Division 1 final, which was, we're talking about good games. That's another good game. So, hey, Mr. Ozzy, Mr. Random Ozzy, always in the chat. I just saw the chat pop up, and who else was it? But Ozzy and Wingmonger. But yeah, I mean, what a game to end the Virginia season. to watch Los Toros finally take that step that they've been chasing and take down Dream. And I know it's tough for Dream because before that the UPSL fell a little bit short. Then right after that, the NPSL. It was a tough couple matches that Dream went through, but that's an empire. It's not gonna you can't just be like, oh no, it's over for Dream. No, that's an empire. They'll be back, and you best believe they're gonna come back for those thrones that have been snatched from them, and it's gonna be a dogfight. So I'm excited. I'm excited. Noah, anything on the game?
Absolutely. So, yeah, I think you both set the table really well. This was a game that obviously was postponed. There was 2.5, maybe 3 minutes played. Toros, they really were the better team in those 3 minutes. They had two, point blank chances blocked by Tristan Kickbush. Obviously it would have been interesting to see how the game played out that night, but Lightning had other plans. So we come back, and you're thinking in the back of your head, can Toros strike again? Can they keep that same pressure up? And the answer was no. The beginning of that game, the first 35 minutes, was nothing like those first 3 minutes. It was a Toros that kind of had to go onto the back foot. They looked a little uneasy playing from the back, but Jack Stone did so good dropping in, receiving the ball, helping take pressure off that back line. I mean, we saw the end results, and his assists were incredible. Obviously, the goal he scored, great. I mean, that part speaks for itself, but it's the other things that Jack Stone brought to that game for me, which is why he's clear, in a way, the man of the match. There were some other great performers throughout the day, but yeah, Jack Stone just on another level. And it's tough right now. I mean, Dream has been up at the top, and it obviously they're a team that you love to hate because of they're the team that's been up there, and they've had this kind of swagger, this kind of cockiness about, but that's part of the aura, and you got to respect it. At the same time, let's give Los Toros their due. Los Toros here have been challenging. They came into the Super League last season, with the sights on Virginia Dream and the title, right? They fell just short in a 3-1 contest at the final in a cold day in Falls Church, but there was a goal all along, and I know that Coach Dave and the rest of that group, they never lost sight of that goal, and it all came to fruition on Thursday night. 4-2 match that wasn't all that close. That first 35 minutes back and forth, but after the first goal, it kind of gave Toros the confidence to go ahead, get another. Jack Stone again, just so good, and by the end of that game, there really wasn't a huge doubt left. I mean, the margin wasn't that small. And, we'll get to see a Los Toros Steel Pulse final, which is refreshing in a certain way. Obviously, that Steel Pulse Virginia Dream rivalry is great, but now let's see Los Toros Steel Pulse. And welcome to the chat, Abraham. Welcome, Abdul. Welcome, Random Aussie. Good to see everybody here.
No, man, I can't get over that back heel pass from Jack Stone. I absolutely cannot get over that pass. Oh my word! Just to leave it perfectly. Took the defender with him and everything. I was like, man, Jack Stone is a different animal. It just that whole game he was playing on lights out. It was fantastic to watch him play.
Yeah, I love the comment from Abraham. No matter if that game was that day or 2 years later, that's what I mean. Like there was absolutely just a singular goal in terms of like, we're coming, we're gonna get our due at the trophy, and it's got to be respected. They had to set the goal, and the goal was accomplished. For Dream, I touched on this a little bit. Their run, it's such an impressive run, and we have to give kudos where it's due. 4 years is incredible in any competition. To be 4 years back-to-back champions, that's a hard record to beat. I don't know if it'll ever be beat, nor should it be beat, right? It's good to finally have a little bit more parity, finally have teams that are able to take on Dream. It was tough, and I can't not like it to not have empathy for Virginia Dream losing in 3 tough contests. I think from a lot of teams going on and getting to the championship or the semifinals in a regional competition, 3 times in a season, that's a huge accomplishment. For Dream, it's probably going to be viewed as an absolute defeat. They're going to probably make some adjustments. I know that they're going to come back stronger. But yeah, it's tough when you're a team that's really got that winning culture and there's a certain level of expectation, a certain level of player in the pool. Um, it's a tough thing to manage. It's not easy whether you're at the team that's always losing, right, and you're trying to keep the team alive, or if you're the team that's always winning, and you go through a short patch of not winning. That's really difficult. Either of those situations is really tough to manage.
Yeah, I mean, I hear that. It's a tough scenario for Dream. Obviously, like we mentioned, they're an empire. They're not gonna just disappear. They're gonna keep doing their thing. They're just gonna retool, restructure, and come back at the stronger. But I ask you this, Josh. Los Toros won. Noah mentioned parity. Isn't it a good thing for Dream to have that competition? Like, doesn't that drive them to want to like compete even more? I would think so, right?
I mean, absolutely. Yeah. Like you guys already said, I think they're going to come back next year with a goal in mind and a singular focus, just as the Toros did. Right, put back on them. But I think, yeah, they're not going to like losing their fourth time in a row, VSSL championship, albeit, at times the UPSL or NPSL or Open Cup might be prioritized some more with in terms of like squads and rotations and things, but to be able to compete in a high level competition every single season and come out regularly on top, this season being the irregularity, but yeah, I think they're absolutely gonna step up to the test and come back stronger next year. And I think they'll early take. I think they're gonna take it back from them next year. It's
Damn,
just,
John,
I,
can't even give Los Toros a summer off, bro.
I think they're gonna recruit well this summer. I think they probably weren't as deep as they'd like to be given how many competitions they were in and how tight the schedule was this back end of the season. But I don't want these Toros guys to get me. Again, you are my guys, but
I love how Josh goes. Los Toros are my guys, and then immediately, like one breath later, goes, "But Dreamer gonna knock Toros off next
I
season."
just
Never let them know your next move, Josh. I respect it.
they're just
That's my way of being too.
they're a different thing. I think they're gonna come back next season different. I think this season was obviously a blip in terms of their standards, and
I, I mean, I hope not. I hope like I want Dream to win, right? But I also want Dream to like get pushed because that's the only way they're gonna get better, right? That's the only way the guys are gonna get better. Whether it's their B team, their A team, whatever team it is, they need to get put in that position. No, you're a top competitor, right? So like there's nothing like that feeling like when you play finals. It's something that can't be said. It's just a feeling, or those matches that really matter. It's just the feeling about it, and you can't go through it if you're not put in those games. So they need to get put in those games so they can only be that much better. So when they go to those Open Cup games or the NPSL regionals, they've already felt that feeling, and it's not new. It won't throw them off their game, and they'll be ready. So I say bring more people like more teams like Los Toros that could challenge Dream and Los Toros. That's my take. Bring the
Yeah,
best.
yeah. I mean, what they say, a higher seas floats all boats, or something like that. I mean, the idea is, for the Super League at least. I can't speak to the other leagues because we don't have a hand in controlling, but is to get the level of competition up at all levels. So there's not so many off weeks, so many easy weeks, and it certainly should be that way at the top where there really are, you know, at least 4 or 5 teams at the end of the
Hmm.
season that are within striking distance. I'll be honest, I don't think we're there yet, right? I think right now it's a two-legged race. Los Toros certainly have put
At least in
themselves up in
Virginia.
that top echelon. Virginia Dream is 4-time champions, so they're certainly not dropped from that far and away. But the idea is to get more competition. It's tough though because there's only so many teams that can play at the level of Virginia Dream, at the level of a Los Toros. But we're certainly going to see it in the Super Cup final, Los Toros and Steel Pulse. It's not a match that we've not seen. It's not going to be a first time, but I think Los Toros are looking for some revenge after Steel Pulse knocked him out of the MDV Cup over the winter.
Do you think oh yeah, you're right. I forgot about that.
Oh, yeah.
It feels so long ago. Um do you feel like Steel Pulse is like the dormant giant that needs to get poked, or do you think they're on already and they're ready to go? Or are they just way too relaxed right now?
Who, Virginia Dream?
No. Steel Pulse.
Steel Pulse, yeah, absolutely. I think that if Steel Pulse don't do their homework, right? Because of course they were looking forward to a rematch with Virginia Dream, right? Because Virginia Dream embarrassed them. It, for lack of a better term, 5-1 in the Super Cup final. Yes, Steel Pulse has the 2 Super Cup finals to their name, but when you're coming off a 5-1 defeat at the hands of Virginia Dream, that's all people remember. They were ready for Virginia Dream, and if they're not careful to respect Los Toros, respect what Los Toros are careful of, they're gonna be in for a rude test. The advantage for Steel Pulse right now is they'll get to host. They are not a team that always travels so well. Los Toros, to their credit, I don't think you could put this game in Beijing, and I think Los Toros are going to show up just guns blazing. These are guys that play for one another. They kind of have a singular focus and drive, and they want this game. So I'm less worried about Los Toros on the road, but I hope, and I'm saying this like I like to push any team. Like Josh is pushing Los Toros. Abraham, you got to have thicker skin than that. We like to
psychology.
Yeah, we gotta. Yeah, we like. He's saying that's your team. Give you the motivation. Put it on the chalkboard. Like I'm saying this every week for Steel Pulse because it's like we didn't want that weak BS Steel Pulse team. We want the Steel Pulse that's badass. We want the Los Toros team that's badass. We want good footy. That's what we do on DMV Sports Media. We don't broadcast crappy teams and crappy games. It's just, I mean, we do sometimes, but we try not.
It's not my choice. It's not my choice.
We want the DMV Sports family to have the best competition. That really is, and that comes from 2 teams, not 1, right? So, winning, excellent. Love it. What are you going to do next against even better competition? What are you going to do next and next and next? And that's why we have this podcast, to give credit, a little bit to give you some motivation to call out, the honest thoughts that we have and prove us wrong.
We like stirring the pot. Let's be honest. I love it. I absolutely love it. I mean, we called out Steel Pulse, and they showed us. Well. They shut us up real quick against both.
I love that. Steel Pulse, if you're listening, fair enough.
So we want that again, please. All right. So we've given D1 enough love. There's one more game to settle. Who's going to be the king of the Super Soccer League for the spring? It's going to be Steel Pulse versus Los Toros. More details to come on date and time, unless Noah can magically pull that information right now. If not, TBD, and it will be coming out soon.
Yes.
But we have another division we got to show love to. Noah, do you want to set the scene here?
Absolutely. So we already know Maryland Super Soccer League Division 2 functions on promotion relegation. We were able to promote one team, Slancha Athletic, during the regular season. They earned promotion from their excellence. During the regular season, they were the champion. They finished at the top of the table. Their story has been told. They were a team that just fell short last season, made it. But there was one spot left. And there were 4 teams that went into a playoff. It was, of course, Baltimore City FC, Touch Kings, who actually were slightly ahead of Baltimore City at the end of the season, MSI Pro, who came in as the front runner in a lot of people's mind to get promoted from Division 2, and Itihad, who have just been a steady performer, and they had a really strong season this season to get into playoffs. The semifinals, we've talked a little bit about that and recapped those. Touch Kings knocked off Itihad by a 3-0 scoreline. Baltimore City, in a really impressive match, came from behind to defeat MSI Pro in something of an upset. Maybe not an upset by the table, but we knew MSI were coming off of the UPSL season and were able to bring the full might of their roster. And still, Baltimore City able to win that match, which set the stage for Sunday, which was the promotion match between Touch Kings and Baltimore City FC. And I'm going to let you take this from here because you actually got to call the game. You got to witness this one in hand, but that was the stage.
I mean, what a game. I mean, this is a Division 2 game, but it didn't feel anything less than top tier footy because it ended 4-4, but that's not how it went. It went very sim. So the way it started, Touch Kings opened up scoring. Baltimore City had to come back to tie it up and then take the lead. Then Touch Kings, which by the way they came back was so it was great two great goals, and then Touch Kings got a second goal, and then we went into overtime. Uh, in overtime or extra time, we were treated to four more goals, or sorry, yeah, four more goals, two goals a pair, and Baltimore City got a penalty, put that away, a great uh, build up play that led into a goal, and then the way Touch Kings came back on Baltimore City, just that banger of a free kick from the assistant coach, Omar Abukar. Oh my word, what a golazo! It was about 30 yards out. He didn't even think about passing it to anyone. He was like, I know what I'm going to do here. And he put it in the back of the net to send it into PKs. And then ultimately, the PKs ended up being a 6-5 win for Baltimore City. I mean, it was the way the PKs even rolled out. It like was back and forth. Baltimore City took the lead, then Touch Kings took the lead after like two back to back saves from Ventura, which was fun. He played phenomenal, and then ultimately it went towards Baltimore City from a big miss from I want to say it was Osorio, but I could be mistaken there. But it was a big miss, and Baltimore City took the promotion into Division 1
Were there any saves from Lucas Mueller?
on the PK. Yeah, he saved. So they both saved three. They both saved three PKs. However, Touch Kings missed just absolutely missed the net or missed the frame, and that's how Baltimore City ended up going through on a miss. Unfortunate.
Penalty kicks are so cruel, and it's so often one
I
of the
did not
most
want to go into
influential.
PKs.
It's so often one of the most influential players, or like one of the most helpful, one of the best players that ends up missing. It's a tough way for a game to go. I kind of wish we could figure out a better system. Bring back the 1v1s from the NESL or whatever, the old MLS, like where you start from midfield. I mean, at least there's like more skill in that. I don't know.
Now, golden goal is where it's at.
Golden goal, just golden goal.
Oh, I
Yeah,
don't know if we'll ever go back to that, but it was fun.
Congratulations to Baltimore City. I mean, they do just great in staying connected to their community, and they're building connections with Baltimore City, with different bars, local businesses. The branding is on point. They have a fan base that is, really tied to them. So they're doing all the right things, and of course, the player pool has gotten really strong. I think they're a team. I'm not stressing about whether they'll be ready for Division 1 or not. I know that they are going to come in to at least compete in Division 1, and who knows, they could even surprise us with making a run to the top. But I think at the very least they'll broach the mid-table.
Look, and Josh, this is kind of more for you because this is kind of like a geographical lesson on the soccer teams up here. Division 1 wasn't really like a Baltimore focused thing, right? It was teams from everywhere in Maryland. Really, the county, the city, here and there. But now we have Das Beer Hall, we have Baltimore City, we have Slancha and Bowley's, who's just outside the city proper, and for me, that feels like a Baltimore league.
It's becoming that.
And I mean, that just adds to it, right? Because it's like you have Slancha and Baltimore City, who started to build a rivalry in D2. You have Slancha and Das Beer Hall, who just finished on their Wednesday league. They just have a random Wednesday league that they play in. Just battled out on a final that I think, I don't want to lie here, but I think it went to Das Beer Hall. Boley's, who obviously hosts and has friendlies with them all the time. So like just to be able to watch these 4 teams play is going to be so fun this season in Division 1 for me. Obviously, all that none of that matters if no one can take points away from Steel Balls.
Yeah, that is going to be the gauntlet, and I'm confident. I mean, I think sometimes it takes a little while. Virginia, it took us all of 5 seasons, but now we have the challenger. You know, there's going to be some things going on division in Maryland. I think the future looks bright. I mean, we'll have plenty of podcasts throughout the summer to touch more on that and you know, some of the potential new entrants once they, you know, make up their mind. But the things are certainly looking bright. Congratulations to Baltimore City. Congratulations to Slancha. Please stay tuned for that Steel Pulse Los Toros game. It's going to come at a good time, right? Where we haven't gotten into the knockout stages yet, in all likelihood, of the Summer Copa, which we're going to talk about in just a moment. But we're kind of done with all of our NPSL, UPSL, and Super League broadcasts. So DMV Sports Media fans, or anything like me, give it a couple weeks. You're going to be starving for a big level competition. And Steel Pulse Los Toros, I mean, it's going to be hard for me to dream up a better pairing of two sides. Welcome, Nick. At the right time, Nick Tyler in the chat. Congratulations. We are so excited. I hope it's okay to say I was throughout the season wanted to say like Baltimore City would be a great fit but we wanted to see it earned. Obviously, everything needs to be earned in Super League. So now I can say it. I'm really happy for you guys. Really think you guys are a great fit, but needed to see it earned, and it was certainly earned the hard way. Congratulations to Baltimore City.
Look, we're just really happy that you're in Division 1. I'm sure you all are happier than we are, but we're happy. We're happy you guys made it through. And Peter, as always, welcome.
Yes,
Josh, anything?
Peter Mango. Go ahead. Sorry.
Anything before we move over to the Summer Copa?
No, I think we got plenty to get into with the Summer Copa. It's real hot that day, but wow. No, I think we can jump right in.
Josh. Well, first of all, Noah, can you, just in case people have missed this, or I don't know, someone doesn't know something, can you tell us what the Summer Copa is? Oh, by the way, we're getting messages thanks to you, Noah, on our Instagram. Already, we're not even off air. This is go for it, Noah. Paint. Well, here while you check, because now I've ADD distracted Noah. I will talk through what the Summer Copa is. So the Summer Copa, it is a joint summer cup between a Super Soccer League, American Premier League, DCPL, which is DC Premier League, and the Northern Virginia Soccer League, where we invite our top teams into, or the Gold Cup is invite only. Go ahead. Did you see the message?
Yeah. Anyways, it's a great collaboration between the top leagues in the area. It started with American Premier League and DC Premier League 3 seasons ago. And then we, the Super League, were invited to collaborate last season. Northern Virginia Soccer League was added. We have a few guest teams, but in essence, what it is, it's a collaborative effort. It's basically a Champions League of the DMV. Amateur leagues, a Champions League and a Europa League. The Gold functions as the Champions League teams. First priority teams are playoff teams from their respective leagues. There's a certain number of allocated spaces from each league. And then, teams from the lower portion of the table in Division 1 from those leagues can enter silver. And then also teams from Division 2, even a couple of Division 3 teams from DCPL have entered as a way of proving themselves. So silver, certainly no kind of like easy kickabout league. Last season, no slouch league. Baltimore City competing in silver. They competed last season in the silver as well. Great Falls competed and won. Great Falls is kind of it's under the Los Toros branch. So they have some incredible players playing there this season. Aspirian also. So just to name a few, Baltimore Kickers, Pirates, and the gold, I mean, it's a great way for the best teams in different leagues to play each other, which is something we don't see enough of. It can get a little stale, the same teams playing each other over and over again. There's always been this call to bring in like one league to unite all the teams. And while that would be great, there are obvious financial constraints, geographic constraints, even things like playing midweek versus playing weekends. Different teams have different goals. This is, a more realistic way to bring together those different teams in a summertime atmosphere, and keep it as competitive as possible, but also really fun, and it's great for the fans. We're right now in the group stage. There's 3 group stage matches, 4 groups of 4. The top 2 teams from each group will advance. So no teams, outright knocked out or anything yet, but we did start to establish a pecking order, and there were certainly some resounding score lines from the bunch.
Before you go down the results, Josh had the pleasure to cover some of the games there. Do you want to talk us through the games you saw and what your take was?
Yeah, got the second half of Great Falls and Unathletic Athletic, which was a little mouthy on the commentary, I'll have to say. But
Yeah, I went UA Athletic is after a little while.
I started just going men in pink, just in pink. Yeah, I was not
Fair
getting
enough.
that out. But they were giving Great Falls definitely a run for their money. A lot of those guys then ended up playing at least some of the Chaskies match as well, which was just after it for the Toros. Sorry, I got my dog whining a little bit.
It's all good.
But yeah, Los Toros and the Chaskies. Chaskies came out with a surprising early lead. I would suspect Toros to be one of the favorites in this competition, given just winning the VSSL. Little birdie told me that, they're trying to win every possible thing they can. They're trying to fill the cabinets. Chaskies came out hot. A nice early goal. They were really solid in the first half. Really were limiting Toros in any chances and anything in the final third. They defended the box really well. But as time went on and you needed to get some substitutes into the match, it really started to prove with that Los Toros Great Falls system, because they had a lot of guys there, a lot of substitutes ready. And Chaskies had I think they had 2-3 guys. At one point, they were like, "Yo, hey, cameraman, we might need you in here." And I was like, I gotta film this. I was thinking about it. I was about to get Dave on the camera. I was about to get Coach Dave.
Oh, that's too funny. But yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of teams that I think are like top tier, right? I mean, Josh, you just talked about Los Toros, but you also have Yings United, Arlington FC, or sorry, Arlington FC,
We have both
S,
Arlington SA and FC. It's confusing
Aegean Hawks,
Yes.
Alexandria United. I mean, Christos, Patuxent. I mean, there's so many teams in this Gold Cup that
Orange.
I mean, it's going to be such a fun Summer Cup. Noah, do you want to run us through the results so that we don't miss anyone?
I would love to. So we'll start right now with gold, because that's what I'm looking at right now. So Arlington SA, the team that plays and has played in the UPSL, they're kind of a guest invite team, if you will, filling out a space that was vacated, in the gold, because let's be honest, that's where they belong, even though they're not currently playing in APL, Super League, or DCPL. They defeated Orange 6-1. Orange, they were the champions 2 seasons ago, and they went far in the playoffs last season. So that just kind of goes to show the quality of the Arlington SA side we're looking at this summer. Los Toros 6-1 victors over Chaskis. Josh already filled in on that. It was a surprisingly strong start from Chaskis and surprisingly weak start. Los Toros, maybe a little bit of hangover from their big Thursday night championship win over Virginia Dream. Didn't necessarily, judge Chaskis properly, but at the end of the game. The last 30 minutes were one-sided, to say the least. 6-1 the final result. Club Petrolero 3-0 over Arlington FC, who play their ball in the DC Premier League. G and Hawks took an early 2-0 victory over Swazi. Swazi made it close later in the match. It was a 2-1 final. North Stars likewise went up early over Yins United, but Yins came back and won 3-2. Set pieces, one from open play to beat North Stars. That's going to be a tough group, Group C. Keep an eye on those four. It's Yins United, North Stars, Orange, and Arlington SA. So that was a tough loss for North Stars, but Yins, we're excited to see what they can do coming off their APL championship victory in the spring. And Alexandria United, it was a strong performance, 3-0 over world-class Premier Alexandria. Maybe had hit something of a nadir by their standards this past season, missing out on playoffs across all competitions. It was good to see them pick up that resounding victory in their first match. It was a tough day for the DC teams. I think they all got blanked, but it's just week one. We're going to see. They had some tough competition too. I mean, Arlington, Los Toros. Yeah, it was tough.
I'm looking forward to that Yins versus Arlington game, to be honest.
Oh yeah. Fun fact: before Arlington SA were Arlington SA. There's a little history. They were Olympiacos, and obviously, there's different player pool there. A couple of the coaches maybe weren't there yet, but I know Coach Philip Vank and others, and some of the core were there. And they matched up in U.S. Open Cup qualifiers, I think 3 years ago, Yins United and Olympiacos. And Yins United were victorious 3-2 with a fantastic Jose Noriega goal. And I had a lot of respect for Arlington because I think they filmed the game and they posted the goal from Noriega on their social media just as like a kudos kind of thing. I thought that was really commendable, really good sportsmanship to post your opponent's game-winning goal. Just class is class. I saw some of that.
So the youth team took Olympiacos on as their professional team?
Correct. Arlington, the youth club, brought on Olympiacos, who were detached. They were part of, obviously, they had some affiliation with the Greek Olympiacos club. Right. Olympiacos became Arlington SA, the pro team, or rather the men's team of that youth organization. Yep, that's correct.
Look, there's something new here at DMV Show.
I'm here for you. Yeah. So let's go on over to the silver. We already mentioned Great Falls 3-0 victors over UA Athletic. Unathletic. I'll say it. The AFC Blitz.
No, but if you say UA, I'm going to think Under Armour.
Yeah.
That's fair enough. All right. Great Falls 3-0 over Unathletic Athletic. There it is. And it's full. The AFC Blitz, which is a part of the Arlington FC family, Arlington FC Blitz, were 4-1 victors over DMV Supreme. DMV Supreme and DMV Stars, they're under the same organization, to my knowledge, I believe. The Esperion, who play their ball in the American Premier League Division I, they were 6-2 victors over 51st State, who play their ball down at DC Premier League, I believe, 3rd Division. Ragtag United, I actually don't know where Ragtag United play. They drew DMV Stars 2-2. And Baltimore Kickers blanked out TT Sports 2-0 up in Baltimore. There was another Baltimore game that needs to get replayed, which is going to be Baltimore City and the Maryland Pirates. We're looking forward to that contest. Stay tuned. We're thinking maybe next midweek that game will get in. But both those sides will play this coming Sunday. And that wraps out our Summer Copa week results.
Week 1, yeah. So, I mean... Oh boy, no! Don't start with the Barcelona Real Madrid, please.
Dude, what about that guy?
Oh wow! Look, I missed out. There's tons going on in the chat.
you guys done lost Noah now. But yes, Summer Copa is in full swing. There's going to be a lot going on. There's a lot of matches you definitely need to watch out for. Obviously, you got to root for Super Soccer League, right?
I mean. I don't think that's a secret. I don't think that's a secret. Obviously, yeah. I mean, my favoritism is there. Obviously, I want to just see good competition.
Yeah.
Glad to see no forfeits yet. Please don't do that, teams. That's the one thing. If you want to see my clear bias come out, start forfeiting, and then I'll be biased again.
Oh, that's too funny. That's too funny. Alrighty, well, Josh, anything before we sign off here?
No, I appreciate you guys for inviting me. Hopefully this isn't a one-time date. And I never get the call back.
You'll get the call back. You'll get the call back.
Speaking of, Abraham Ubeda says, when are we going to invite Los Toros captain Emiliano?
Look, we love doing interviews. We'll do it. We'll do it. We'll get it done, and we are backlogged on the interviews. That's my fault. Let's be honest. But we'll get them done. We'll get them done now.
Yeah, we'll get you on the list, assuming he actually wants the interview.
True,
but it's not just Abraham volunteering him.
True, we can't force anyone.
This is an esteemed platform, guys. He'll be done. Come on, I'm sure.
There you go. Right from Josh. So, I mean, it's true. Everyone, thank you for tuning in. We're going to jump off here. We appreciate you. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, like, comment, and definitely engage. We will see you all very soon in the near future. Have a good night, everyone.